All right. Complex. I'm not a big fan of the multiverse myself. I don't know about anybody else. But for me, I spend time on something that's so entirely speculative. It's a big enough problem just grappling with the universe we have than with more of them. My opinion, anyway. All right. But yeah, so yeah, there got to be rules. Otherwise, the universe wouldn't exist. Exactly what those rules are, I suppose that's the problem. That's what makes it interesting. Anybody got anything useful to say about this whole thing?
Yeah, may I just say, Derek,
Pete,
that
glad
we
you're here.
have. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. Carry on.
Okay. We battle enough to understand quantum physics, and then to try and understand brain theory, string theory. I mean, what chance do we have of understanding that as well? And I think you said just now, it's all speculative. But I think some good points were made there. Like, what was there before, and before that, and before that, there must have been something. I don't know. And that's my lot.
I think his point towards the end, even if there had to have been rules for the universe to be created. So, that in itself is something. So almost what he's saying, yes, before there was a universe, there had to be a background, some sort of a background, a whole lot of fields, whatever it was, with rules about how they can interact. And then maybe it was colliding. I like the colliding brains thing, actually, particularly because there was a South African involved, of course, Neil Turok. Okay. But I don't know. For some reason, I like that one. I don't know.
I think I agree with you there, Derek. I thought that was the most interesting. There's an awful lot of repetition I find in these videos. They talk about the same things, but serve it up in a different way. But the last bit, I quite like. I always thought that the key to it is understanding something about the nature of time, to be honest. I like Greek mythology, actually, and in Greek mythology, everything emerges from a state of chaos. So, my line of thinking would be that you would have time, but it'd be in total chaos. There'd be no cause and effect, but a little bit like you magnetize an iron bar, for instance. You sort of align the magnetic field. You align all the magnetic dipoles to create the magnetic field. Something like the collision with another brain might have aligned time so that we end up with an arrow of time. I don't know. I'm looking out now for the men in the white coats now.
I don't like the idea of thinking of time as one of the elements that sort of appeared out of somewhere. I don't think that's the case at all. I think time is just the way that we perceive change. That's all it is.
Yeah, I think you've said that before in one of these videos.
Yeah.
I'm not sure myself, to be honest. I'll leave it open to other people's comments.
I think time is just an emergent thing. It's not a fundamental. But anyway, that's my point of view. And I think actually that it was Einstein's point of view, personally. All right. So who's got something to contribute?
I think I've got nothing to say. If you're prepared to listen, if we talk about 1 dimension and 2 dimension, 3 dimension, is there any way of measuring 1 dimension and then doubling it to 2 dimensions, and then 3D, and then 4D, if we can't have the capacity to measure a single dimension or describe?
Well,
theoretically, it might be
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Let's describe it a dimension. I mean, if you were to explain to somebody that had never heard the term dimension, if he asks you what is a dimension, how would you explain it to him? Possibly, I would say, if you okay, you might say to him, okay, let's describe it in terms of spatial dimensions. We've got 3 spatial dimensions which you can give axes which are all at right angles to each other, and if you vary a variable in one dimension, you must be able to vary it in that dimension only without affecting the other dimensions. So that has to be the definition of the dimension. You can vary a variable in one dimension without affecting the other dimensions. So to me, that is the definition of a dimension. So from that point of view, I say that time. That is why, to me, time does not qualify as a dimension.
Yeah, well, how do you measure a dimension if you've only got one of them? You can't.
You can measure it. You can in terms of space, it's just distance.
Yeah, well, there you're already using a second dimension.
No,
which you don't have.
Oh, you're thinking of a point which is 0 dimension.
Yeah.
But that's just a quantity.
Even a point, no, it has no quantity. It's you can either measure a circle in macrons or a time in macro seconds, but it's still got a measurement. So it's like 0. You double 0, you still got 0. You can put 3 zeros next to each other and still means 0. So you've got nothing to start on. So
how do you measure time? To come back to time, how do you can only measure it in terms of one thing changing relative to another. So immediately you've got a whole lot of dimensions involved in the whole process.
Yeah, but I'm just curious because you can't talk about a one dimension. You can only talk about 2 or 3 or 4. Yeah. So anyhow, that was my whole lot of nothing. So
look, I think this whole video, I think essentially what it is, you've got to. They're basically trying to say how various theories which people have come up with in relation to the possible ways of a universe being created and how they fit in. I mean, people have spent decades trying to do the mathematics of string theory. Decades of their life have been dedicated to it. So it's just a way of trying to sort of bring a holistic picture of how all these possible theories fit in with each other or not. But I think it shows what a poor job we've done of trying to explain the universe. I mean, there's so many, even the Big Bang Theory, even though, as Pierre always says, it's the best theory we've got, the lambda CDM theory, whatever it is. But there are so many problems with it, and if you try to start drilling down into the detail, there are things that just don't work and just don't make sense. There are a lot of assumptions which are actually not strictly speaking true.
Thanks.
Pierre, are you with us?
I think Pierre has left.
Okay. I think he's going off to the. Are you going to the stargazing as well, Peter?
I won't tonight, but I'll put my name down for the next session, I think.
I think I'm just going to go and show my face there, but I've got to get up early tomorrow morning. Got a big harvest of grapes to get done.
Did
Get up at
they,
5.
sorry, Derek, did they finalise where they're going to meet? Is it the cricket club or?
They spoke about the cricket club, so I'm just going to go and look there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the lighting like there?
Sorry, Peter?
I say, what is the lighting like at the cricket club? Well, not lots of lights.
Well,
But
I
then
don't
again,
know.
that doesn't really affect moon gazing.
Yeah.
You can see the moon, particularly when it's full.
Okay, yeah. I've got my wife arriving at the gate and the deaf and blind dogs are in the way of the car. I better go and watch it.
Yeah, shame.
No, I'm watching on the camera. It's all okay. That's fine. All right. Who have we still got here? Let's have a look. Participants. Right. Oh, Mickey's here.
Thank you, Derek. Okay.
Sandy's here.
And Peter.
All right. If we've got, this is a complex one. What have we got up next in the list? I don't know. I must have a look. I'm going to stop sharing this one. I'm just going to quickly bring up the list here. Let's quickly look at the list to see what we've got up next. Come on, open already. Here we go. Right, we're on 37. 38 is the layers of reality. What is reality? And the next one after that is beyond the great attractor. Where is everything in the universe going? Okay, so those look like interesting. I think it's a little bit less abstract than this one tonight, and more interesting and more stuff we can discuss, I think. So let's look forward to those then.
All of these videos, I normally set my timer to see how long it takes them to mention dark matter. It was about 12 minutes in this one.
You know what? Did they mention dark matter? I didn't hear them talking about it.
Oh yeah, no, you've got a mention. It's got an honourable mention.
Okay. You know what? Every now and then somebody comes up with a theory which doesn't require dark matter. And then I always wait for, what's her name? Sabine. Within a day or two comes up with a video analyzing the whole theory and why it's rubbish. And she's got a BS meter that she gives every time. And there hasn't been one yet that she has given any credence to. She doesn't entirely 100% shoot it down, but I think she does 99% most of the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, I watch her too. They're very entertaining videos.
All right. I think we need to get on with our evening this time. I want to get to supper and stargazing and bed in that quick order.
Okay. Hope you have a good time,
Thanks.
Eric.
Thanks for joining us this evening,
time.
and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Derek. Thanks, everyone.